Welcome to another episode of Go Talk Podcast. Let's clap it up. Today's topic is another good one. So today we're gonna talk about our top 5 heroes. It doesn't matter what universe it could be from, Marvel, DC, anything. So I'm gonna start it off. We're gonna start from the 5th position. So in my 5th position, I have Sherlock Holmes. Now, it's a little bit different. You probably was expecting somebody that has powers or somebody that fights a lot, but Sherlock Holmes is really a fire hero. Like he's a genius. You really can't get no better than that. Bro's the greatest detective on the planet. So, in order to be different, and because this man is a legend, I got Sherlock Holmes at 5. What y'all got at 5?
Yeah. Starting, at 5, I had to pick up my boy Static Shock. You know what I mean? He's really cool. Virgil is that dude. I remember when he had his, cartoon show as a kid. I used to watch it all the time. And I feel like, he's a little lesser known as a black superhero, but Virgil, Static Shock, that's my dude. And, from seeing him fly on manhole covers and whatnot in that fire intro, I had to put Static Shock at number 5.
Super underrated, bro. Super underrated. Respect. What you got, RJ? What's your 5th spot?
5th one, I'm not gonna lie. This one character, Carmen Sandiego. I grew up on her watching the show from the early 90s, and I played the video game Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. So, but when you really think about it, though, she's more of she was a hero in a sense, but it seemed like she was the bad guy because she was stealing stuff. But the thing was, she was stealing stuff, selling it to black market, and then stealing it back and putting the artifact back where it was, and then using that money to fund her traveling and also giving that to charity. So it's like you can't be mad at it. You see where she's coming from in a sense. Because
anti-hero.
Yeah, for an anti-hero, that's it could be way worse. It really could be way worse. But she's actually doing something that's what people would see as what's the word? I can't think of the word, but yeah.
Smooth. I'm pretty sure that came on Cubo too, if I'm not mistaken, because my brothers and sisters actually was watching that show. That's the only reason I know who that is. That's a cool underrated character. Xander, what you got in your 5th spot, man?
In the 5th spot, I want to start it off in a clean way. Now, this might not be everyone's favorite, but I'm gonna be going with Captain Man from Henry Danger. Goated show, goated superhero. A lot of you know him. Indestructible. This man fell from a plane and he walked away, unbothered, unfazed. It was beautiful show. He's a beautiful hero. A little bit of an attitude problem. He was kind of a baby man, but I definitely appreciate his character and what he was able to do for Nick. So I'm gonna go with Captain Man at my 5.
I like that. I would never expect for you to say that, but he is like that. He is like that. If you have seen the show, Henry Danger, he is that guy. I cannot lie. All right, Jaden, what you got in your 5th spot, my brother?
All right, so I'd like to represent Marvel a bit. My fifth spot is Rocket Raccoon. Now, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Rocket Raccoon to me is like one of the most like him and Groot are one of the best duos on that team. I think like they have the best relationship, and even in the movies they were good. But like this dude's like he's crazy.
I like that. I like that a lot. Because Rocket Raccoon is funny. That's also why I like that character most importantly. Because he definitely he definitely says what's on his mind in the movie.
He also has that TikTok TTS.
Yep. So now we back around to my brother Luke. What do you got in your fifth spot?
I have a member of the X-Men in my spot, and he really should be higher on the list, but I have so many other characters that I like, and that is the character Gambit. And what his power is that he can manipulate kinetic energy. And I don't know if y'all know how OP that is, to be able to manipulate kinetic energy. But a dumbed down version of what he can do is that anything he touches can turn into a bomb. And then he can throw that projectile at you and blow you up. So Gambit's just a tough hero in my opinion. His character design is really, really cool. And he's one of the more lesser known X-Men, I feel. But I think he's super cool, super underrated.
Has like a raincoat, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has like that brown. Okay, so I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's mad cool. I like that.
Yeah, he's tough.
All right. Now let's get a little closer to this number one spot. We got to our number 4 spot. So in this, I have a well-known character right here. I got the Flash. Now, there's a lot of versions of the Flash. There's Barry Allen, there's Wally West, there's a few other ones, and I'm specifically gonna stay with Wally West. Wally West is the second one, right after Barry. And the reason that I'm choosing this version of the Flash is because he literally, in his ultimate form, is like the most powerful superhero. Like it's so many stories that I can't even break down right now because he's just very, very overpowered. But I'm gonna choose him because that man, when they say he's the fastest man alive, they're not playing. Wally West is that guy. So that's what I got at 4.
Yeah, I mean that's a good choice. Flash is a good number 4. For my number 4, it's one that I had to think hard about, but I chose Baymax from Big Hero 6. Him and Hiro Hamada. I feel like that's like a fire duo right there. Kind of similar to what Jaden said about like Rocket Raccoon and Groot, but even the movie and the comics, I always thought that Hiro Hamada and Baymax were a cool combo. A different side of a robot that we didn't see before, and a brilliant young engineer. I thought it added a different aspect to comics and movies as well. Had a nice anime style to it, nice little futuristic touch. Also something you could relate to as a kid too. So yeah, I got Baymax and like Hero at my 4.
I like that. I like that a lot. What you got, RJ? What's your 4th position?
For number 4, I'm gonna have to go with my girl. We all know her. She was, I would say, a critical staple in our childhood. Kim Possible. The fact that she was a spy, a high schooler with good grades.
Tough. I like that.
Because you gotta think about it. High school is already tiring in itself. You're a spy. Also, you're a cheerleader too. A cheerleader, a high school student, and a spy. And you're doing all of this pretty much effortlessly. Is every person's dream come true with multitasking. I'm not gonna hold you. So I would have to say that, which is impressive. She's number 4.
She did hold it down. And that's not even talking about the theme song. We didn't even get to that. That just gives her the extra point. All right, Xander, what you got in your 4th spot, man?
Xander said to skip him. He got a customer.
All right, let's see. Jaden, what you got?
All right, it was a really hard decision, but I think I'm gonna put Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. I always loved that movie so much, and like he's just a good hero, you know. Him and Toothless again with the partner thing. I think mainly I just like partners in movies and like heroes and stuff like that, but like duos and things like that. But like all throughout, he was just the man. You know what I mean? He was that guy.
Like that, you know, I probably sound a little wild for this, but How to Train Dragon, I don't remember the movie because I haven't watched. The last time I watched it, I was like little, and I've only seen it probably like twice, and I don't remember. And I know if I rewatched it, I'll probably like know exactly what you're talking about, or I'll enjoy it better. What you got, Luke? What's your 4th spot?
4th spot is gonna go to that man Wolverine. For me, y'all, everybody here knows who Wolverine is. Everybody listening knows who Wolverine is. Again, he's like super high for me, but because I can't fit everybody at number 1, Wolverine's there. You know, just like he's just like one of those characters that's like there's no thinking when it comes to reading a Wolverine comic or watching a Wolverine movie. It's just like pure like straight power and just straight just rage. And I guess I feel like there's a little bit of that in all of us, you know, and he's just not as good as controlling it, you know, and it's fun. It's really cool to watch him and just like the mutant X-Men and all that. And Wolverine's just a really cool character to me.
I like that, and just the X-Men stories in general. Like you just know that it's just gonna go in depth. There's so many layers it's gonna go into. Wolverine is fire like that. All right, so let's move along. Let's get into the heavy hitters. This is the top
Hold on,
3.
if I can interject real quick, Kareem, real quick. My bad. I would like to give my number 4 spot. I'm back.
Oh yeah, finish your number 4 spot, my brother.
I apologize for not being able to go my turn with it. But who I'm going to take number 4. I was liking the Rocket and Groot dynamic that I was hearing earlier on. So I think I'm going to choose none other than Star-Lord. Now, Star-Lord, I understand, can be questioned. A lot of people feel like, you know, if he had controlled himself there on Titan, perhaps Avengers Endgame wouldn't even be needed.
Wouldn't have made that movie.
He did kind of break Thanos out of the coma by just being mad. He was big mad. I understand, but many feel like he should have held himself together. I completely agree with that. Now, on that same token, I would like to just say that Star-Lord is one of the swaggiest heroes out there. You know, he was just him. From the mask to the rocket boost, the way he fought, like he kind of fought, like when he fought, it looked like he was dancing, but like he was like dropping people. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just amazing. Star-Lord, one of the best to ever do it. You know, the sad origin story with his mom and what he became. I think that's a strong 4.
I like that. Now let's get into these heavy hitters, man. This is the top 3. We're not playing no games, and they might be a lot of familiar names on this top 3 because some of these characters, like, you just can't deny the greatness that these characters have. So I'm gonna go into my number 3 spot, and I have this person at number 3 because, well, really, they could all these top 3. I could exchange at any. They could be 2, they could be 3, they could be 1. It don't really matter to me. But we're gonna give him 3. You know, a new movie just came out. We got Black Panther, man. Black Panther just has to be in top 3 for me personally. He has to be. because not only is he the ruler of the most powerful nation in the world, he has the most powerful metal in the world, all the resources, vibranium, but he's also a genius on top of that. And he also knows how to fight without the Black Panther. You get what I'm saying? And the way that he moves is just kingly. He's just him. Like Wakanda as a nation and his army, again, his army is all women. And they can definitely body anyone at any given moment. No powers, by the way. This is just boxing. So I know that his character just has a lot of depth. Super cool. Have to have him at 3. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, Black Panther is one of those people you just got to have. I mean, you know, that's truly, you know, the black superhero. But for my 3, you know, as previously stated, you know, we can't get every universe or, you know, every hero, and it's really hard to choose. But, you know, I wanted to try to get at least some diversity. So to all my people who love Transformers, number 3 gotta be Optimus Prime. And
I like that.
yeah, I mean, you know, I like
Nice.
personally, you know, I like Bumblebee more, but I mean, you just can't negate the fact that Optimus Prime is that dude. He, you know, the Allspark, his swords, you know, turning into a truck. I mean, Optimus Prime has been a big part of my childhood, and I just feel like it would, you know, be a great crime not to include him on the list. So that's for all the Transform lovers out there.
Not to mention, this man gives the most inspirational speeches of all time.
That is true. That is true. How did I forget about him? Now I gotta make sure you go back on my list. So, RJ, what do you have in your number 3 spot?
I'm not gonna lie, this was tough on my part to say where I rank in the top 3. But for this one, I would have to say Eraserhead from My Hero Academia. He's always in a sleeping bag. He's tired all the time. You can obviously tell. But when he needs to do his job, he's gonna do his job, guaranteed. There's like nothing else I need to say. He will get it done.
I appreciate that because I wasn't thinking about My Hero at all. But like, what you're saying about Eraserhead is true. Like, bro is like he's off until he's on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
once he has to. The thing is, his power is removing other people's quirks. Like, he doesn't have any like heightened quirk of his own. So everything that he does is just pure skill. It's just pure boxing. So you know, I definitely understand that being in your top 3.
That's very true. I like that. And it was different. It was different. It wasn't something that we would expect. Okay, so Jaden, what do you got? What you thinking?
All right, so this is gonna be a bit controversial, but I put Batman at number 3. Now I'm doing this on like the majority of Batmans, right? Like, he's such a great character. He has good, well, I shouldn't say good morals, but not really. But like, my one main reason why I put him at 3 and not anywhere else, I feel like he's like too merciful with some people. Like, we see like in the Injustice movie how like if he would have just caught Joker at some point, Superman wouldn't have done all that. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of like is a bit too merciful, but at the same time he has good reason to be. He wants everyone to like be rehabilitated and stuff like that. And also in Batman Beyond, Terry or whatever his name was, I always loved him. He was one of my favorite Batman, especially because like that little like lasso thing that I used, and every single person would just break out of that almost immediately. Like, it would never work.
Yeah, Terry McGinn is cool.
I respect that answer. I might have something for that later. Xander, what you got on your number 3, man? Your number 3 spot.
I think he stepped away for a minute.
Oh, okay. So let's move on.
I apologize. No, I'm here.
All right.
I do apologize.
Your number 3, my brother.
So at number 3, I'm gonna take this could be controversial, but let me get Anakin before he was Darth Vader. Okay. Now,
I was gonna say
if you've seen the Clone Wars, you know what I'm talking about, and even Episode 2 and Episode 3, Anakin was simply that guy. You know, it's unfortunate he left the Jedi organization. He was traded to the Sith for a couple low draft picks, but I feel like the impact he had while in the Jedi Order was just unparalleled. You know, I don't think we can really leave him off of a hero list, even though he's primarily known as a villain. So let me get Anakin, you know, the highest midichlorian count out of any Jedi. Said Qui-Gon, you know. So I'm gonna go with Anakin before he's Vader. Thank you.
Right, I like that, because if you think about Anakin's whole basis that made him a villain wasn't really bad if you think about it. He just let his emotions take him to that villain side. Like, his whole thing was, oh, I want to protect Padme, blah blah blah. I want to be stronger, but he just took it the wrong way.
And then like the Emperor kind of twisted him. He took advantage of how like spirited he was, kind of.
Yeah, and he let it take him. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Anakin was inexperienced, but he got stuff done though.
He did.
No, Anakin was like one of the most powerful Jedi, and he wasn't even a master. He was still a knight.
He wasn't. They didn't want to make him a knight.
I know they didn't want to make him. They didn't want to make him master. They were hating on him.
They was playing with him,
and that made him mad too. You saw he was like crying because they didn't make him a master because he knew he deserved it.
Sure, I think they were hating a bit. I think they were being a bit harsh against Anakin. Not gonna lie, like he even though he had like good intentions, like it was the kind of thing where Yoda could sense evil. Come on, man, you could fix him. You know what I mean? Like make him a master. I don't know, man.
With time, right?
But when you think about being a master, right, you gotta be not just a master over the Force, but you gotta be a master over yourself. Feel me? And Anakin really wasn't that at the time.
What it was. That's what it was.
Have control over him. Feel me?
Yeah,
Yoda
had what it was.
Although he was a master
Yoda
of building the Force, you know, he couldn't really control his emotions enough to make like good decisions. And I think that's the only reason that they didn't promote him yet.
Because they kept seeing that inkling, even when he was little. They saw that little bit of that little dark side he had to him, that rage, and that built up.
Yep.
All right, let's wrap up these top threes. Luke, I don't remember if you said your number 3.
Say mine yet. Mine is gonna go to the mantle of Spider-Man, because I have like there's like 8 Spider-Man, and I kind of like all of them. You feel me? I love a lot of that franchise, and I'm not willing to spend 2 or more spots on 2 different Spider-Man. So this goes to Peter Parker. This goes to Miles Morales, of course. Peter Parker, because like when we were all like younger, right, and we're watching Spectacular Spider-Man, which is a goated show, or Ultimate Spider-Man, which is another good show, right? And it kind of showed us that like even though like we were like young kids or whatever, that there was like a superhero that was kind of like doing that, you know? And Peter Parker was like, he's like the outcast of like his school, but then when it comes to like fighting crime, you know, he was always like he could turn that switch, and he could really be himself, you feel me? And I feel like all kind of like that at one point, where like we couldn't really be ourselves in public settings, but then like when we're with our friends or when we're at home, we really like just did what we wanted to, and like kind of like felt comfortable. And I love Miles Morales, of course, because you know, as a black character, he definitely holds it down in that respect. And then also too, it's because like Miles Morales isn't necessarily, he's not exactly like a nerd. You know, he is a nerd, but he's not exactly like an outcast, you feel me? Like he's pretty well accepted by his community, and I feel like that's what it is for most of us. You know, we're not necessarily like looked down upon or bullied, but you know, we're just like normal. You know, we're just like trying to make it through life. And when he got bit by the spider, and he got hit with the tragedies that he got hit with, like with his uncle and with his father dying and everything like that, it was a lot for him. But the way he became Spider-Man and filled the shoes of the then passed away Peter Parker, that was a really cool story to watch. And I like the way they developed it. They didn't just try to make him a clone of Peter Parker like Ben Reilly, who I would about time eludes me. They made him his own person. You know, they gave him his own personality, and they even gave him his own set of abilities. And I appreciate both of those characters for definitely not molding, but they definitely had a lot to do with my like the person that I am, and like the different characters that I like and stuff like that. So definitely just like the name Spider-Man means a lot to me. So that's my top 3.
I like that. I like that a lot, and that's a good way to sum up how much Spider-Man does. And I think that leads perfect into our last top 2. And I think these last top 2 we can say together, because these are definitely like a hard decision to make between your top 1 and 2 spot. So for me, I have some classic goats. I do Batman, and I have Spider-Man. Now, the way I listed it is I have Spider-Man at 2, and I have Batman at 1. And now this can be a little debate of a lot of things, but that's why I'm saying both of them, because it could be either or. And that's just because, as you were saying, Spider-Man, not only does he have like a lot of depth to him, he's an outcast, there's a lot of different versions, but just the swag that the character has, like the suit is fire. When he's fighting, it's fire. The other characters around him, fire. The amount of villains that he has, the amount of villains that both of these characters have is crazy. Batman has like the worst cities ever created. There should not be that many like crazy psychotic villains and all of this stuff in one city, and you have to deal with that, and you have your own problems, your own childhood trauma that you go through that basically defines his whole character. But I just like how both of these characters are smart. But Batman's just like a billionaire. He's able to use all of his money for different resources to create the character that he is. He doesn't have any powers. He does have a little messed up like in the head kind of like morals. He doesn't know. His decisions basically cause a lot of other worse things, like with the Joker and things like that. But these two characters got so much depth. And I think especially the villains, because what makes a great hero is having a great villain too. And I think these two heroes right here have some of the most iconic, in-depth villains too. So that's why I have these two in my top 2 spots.
Yeah, sticking with the theme, my top 2 are 2 people who got me into, loving superheroes. And then, my number 2 is who got me into loving anime. And 2 gotta go to Naruto. I mean, when I was a kid, my mom didn't let me watch Dragon Ball Z, but, she didn't know what Naruto was, and that was my escape, man. I mean,
How much?
She didn't know.
Worse than Dragon Ball Z. What?
So she didn't know what it was. So I watched it.
It came on Cartoon Network usually after Teen Titans, and I was able to watch it. But yeah, it gotta go to that man Naruto Uzumaki. I mean, I felt his sorrow. I grew up with him. That was my dude. I felt what he felt. Sometimes being left out, not having friends sometimes. But Naruto, he showed me that you come across people in your life, and you'll make friends no matter where you go. And that really stuck with me as a kid. That's something like I keep to this day. I mean, that's my dude when it comes to anime. And then number 1 gotta go to my man Spider-Man. I mean, that dude got me into superheroes. Peter Parker, as was previously said, he's that guy. He's so relatable. Miles Morales too, Ben Riley. You know, all the iterations of Spider-Man, they work. I mean, they each show us a side of ourselves, or a side of Spider-Man that we didn't get to see before. But just from watching the '90s Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, the movies, Ultimate Spider-Man, I could truly say that Spider-Man is my favorite. The ability to go through what he went through at a young age and still have that sense of humor while he's fighting crime is something I really looked at, and something that I try to model myself. No matter what I'm going through, I still try to keep my humor and my same attitude. So those are my top two, mainly because of growing up with them and what they taught me.
One thing I want to say about Spider-Man before we move on is that Spider-Man, while he does have he has the radioactive spider bite, right, and he has the advanced reflexes and he has pretty decent strength, but I feel like compared to the powers of his enemies, right, his powers are kind of doo-doo. His powers are doo-doo, right?
That's true, actually. Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of money like Batman.
Mm-hmm. He's been dumped.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't even have to be like a hero at all.
Most of the time he doesn't. The only powers he really uses are his super strength, really. Like that's the only one that'd be useful. Like, you know what I mean? The other ones, like, he can swing around and he can grab stuff.
That's
Yeah.
the gadget that he built. If he wasn't smart enough, he could not do that.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, even sometimes the spider sense, depending on which Spider-Man you're talking about, can be on and off. So it's not even that reliable sometimes. So
As far as crime, those powers are kind of not very good. You know what I mean?
I mean, when you look at his powers and then you look at Sandman,
That is true. Yeah.
Spider-Man's powers, and then you look at a gun.
Sandman,
you look at his powers, and then you look at a gun.
True.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, Spider-Man. Spider-Man shouldn't have that. All I'm saying is that he took on everything pretty much alone, no money, one friend.
It's really sad.
Tried to kill him. That friend tried to kill him.
His boss hates him. He really just he can't pay his rent on time.
He's the average Gen Z.
His girls, he'd be losing his girlfriends. Countless times.
That's just the average internet user in Gen Z.
His only outlet is just saving lives.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? So I think Spider-Man definitely got it in that sense. He's just the way he doesn't really have great powers or anything like that. Because honestly, if I had Spider-Man's powers, those are pretty much only good for sports. I'm not fighting nobody with those. That's just I'm hooping with it.
I am hooping with that.
That's Spider-Man's power. I'm in the NBA. That's all it is.
Yeah. You're never getting stolen from.
Ever.
Stolen from. Posterize everybody, bro.
So RJ, what you got in your top two?
This was a tough decision. I do have two, and I also would like to add two honorable mentions as well. Which one of them was mentioned. We have Miles Morales and One Punch Man. And I know One Punch Man is invincible, but you have to admit the people that fight him thinking that they're gonna win, it gets you every time. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, really, honestly, truly. But the two honorable mentions I would like to add is Storm and Elektra, which I hate to say this, they've both been done badly movie wise. That is, Elektra. We only got one movie by her and it's
Halle Berry did a decent job. It wasn't decent.
Yeah, Halle Berry isn't the problem. It was her. It was the way they scripted it.
Yeah,
Halle did a wonderful job. She did a great job. I would like to see more of her. But
those are some valid honorable mentions though, because those are some.
Yeah, I like those honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Storm too. Yeah.
And Elektra.
Right there.
I I don't know much about the comic books, but I do know she is an actual hero in the Marvel universe. But we haven't really seen that. Besides the movie they put out with Jennifer Garner, that's about it, as far as I know.
Coming soon though. If I'm not mistaken, she should be coming soon.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
I think in that Daredevil series that's coming out. Again.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
should be in that one. Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
Devil's like wife, or am I tweaking?
Ooh.
Like, hold on.
Oh yeah, and I think in one kind of storyline they was together. I think.
Yeah,
No sense. Which makes no sense to me. I just
Yeah,
don't.
it don't. But they are just in the same area. You know, Daredevil just.
yeah.
You know. Yeah.
He's everywhere.
Xander, what you got in your top 2, man? Your final.
You know, this was a rough choice for me. After some big, I'm surprised he hasn't got any love already. Give me Iron Man at 2. You know, let's turn the clocks back for a minute to Iron Man 1. Right? He was the one making the weapons that were being used to terrorize the Middle East. He ends up getting kidnapped, and he sees firsthand like the damage he's done to the world. So what does he do? Does he hide behind his money? No. He puts his life in danger, like many times, right? And it's just like such a great thing. Like he doesn't have to do that. Like he's set for life. He could just disappear. But no, he's dead set on undoing the damage that he's done. And we all know how the story ends, you know. He commits the ultimate sacrifice. Just one of the best to ever do it. I'm disappointed I had to put him at 2, but you know, really great superhero. Once again, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten any love already, but I'm more than happy to do that for him. And at my number 1, you know, let me get Optimus Prime. Now I heard him at number 3, and frankly, that was kind of enraging to me. I felt highly disrespected as a Transformers fan that we put him at the 3 spot. I feel like he should have at least cracked the top 2 for everyone. You know, Optimus Prime, you know, when you think of hero, he's got to come to your mind. You know, he leads the Autobots with the sword. You know, I know we've mentioned the great speeches and everything. He has me ready to go to battle.
Inspirational voice.
You know,
inspirational voice.
No, he has me ready to go in. Like I'm sitting there under the cover. I'm ready to wage war against the Decepticons. Like I know y'all felt like that. I'm ready to get up. So,
I'm ready to get up.
And I know you seen the Bumblebee movie when Optimus is like getting swarmed by like 80 Decepticons and they pan away from him. Can someone explain to me how he survived that?
Yeah.
He's the goat.
Like no, like actually though. So with all that in mind, and Optimus being such one, and you know what? Another thing is that in the later movies, so early movies, he's, you know, defending humanity, all this, he's all noble. But in the later movies, he sees humans for what they really are. I mean, humans, let's be honest, humans suck. And he sees that.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't it that one part where they're like breaking Ratchet or whatever and they all like snap?
No.
That was crazy.
Like,
I love that
That
scene.
was actually, like, when Optimus finally comes to realization that humans aren't as noble as he thought they were. Like, it's just an amazing. And then Optimus becomes. I feel like even at that point he becomes more him. If that makes sense. Like, he just has a certain like swagger from then on. Yeah. I feel like you're unparalleled in heroes. He literally like looked a human in the eye. He was like, bro, like I'll actually kill you. Like I'm not playing with you. Yeah. And that's just amazing to me. You know, so he's noble, but don't mess with my man. So give me Optimus. Give me Optimus.
Yeah, I had to show him some love. Sorry I put him at number 3, but you know, he's still my boy.
I heard him at number 3. I respect you picking him up, but I feel like a little bit later spot would be acceptable.
Yeah, definitely top 10 though. Definitely in my top 10. I don't know how he went across my mind and I didn't think about him, but definitely top 10.
Yeah, of course.
Who do you have? Jaden. Your top 2.
All right. So the thing is, this was probably the hardest decisions I've ever made. I literally left 1 and 2 blank because I had both of them were so close. So I have Spider-Man, I think, as my number 1. I'm just gonna say that. And my number 2 is the most underrated superhero, I think, who does not get any love even though he's awesome. The Question from DC. You might know him from I think it was Young Justice. Like he was in one episode or whatever.
Mhm.
But in the comics, he is so cool. I don't know why. I always thought the question was just like really cool character design, cool. And for Spider-Man, specifically Spider-Man, I think it was Spectacular Spider-Man. That just inspired like my whole like art style, and like my like really got me into drawing because I always loved that, and it just looked cool. And even like Spider-Man as a character, like I always wanted to be Spider-Man, right? Like I felt like I was Spider-Man, I was the outcast in school, like I, but like I always felt like he was just like he's just a perfect superhero, like just like for like society kind of. Like anyone could be Spider. Like even Stanley himself said he intentionally made him have a mask covering his entire body so anyone could imagine himself being Spider-Man. Like he's just like emotionally the best superhero.
Yeah, and like you said, Question is a good underrated superhero. I mean, another great detective there too. And like you said, cool character design. No mouth, and like a blank face, but mad cool.
Yeah, I had to search up to remind myself because I'm just hearing the name. And I'm like, what? And then I saw what popped up on Google, the face. And I'm like, oh, oh, this guy. Yeah, that's super underrated. Definitely underrated.
And the way he came in on the episode, he came in like when he was like first introduced, like it was like the main mob boss guy, and he's just like, well.
Yeah. And then last but definitely not least, my brother Luke. What is your final top two?
I'm not gonna get too far into the lore of this character because we all know, and if you don't know, search it on your own, is gonna be Ghost Rider. Because that dude is just so cool. Okay. But I can't really put him as a top 1 and 2 as a hero. I really can't do that. My top 1 and 2 is gonna go to Batman and Prince Vegeta.
That's why I was having a hard time too with that. I was thinking about him too.
Prince Vegeta is barely a hero. He really only protects one thing, and that's his family. He doesn't really care about much else. You know what I mean? Everything he really does is in the similar to Goku, but everything he does is in the pursuit of just making himself better. He wants to be the best he can be. And when he isn't when he isn't operating at his literal best, his literal greatest, he breaks down. And me, I there's a little bit of that. I have a little bit of that. And I feel like Vegeta is just such a cool character to follow as far as development goes, and as far as his art goes. Like Majin Vegeta, just like, I don't know, just the best to ever do it. And I have so much love for the Dragon Ball franchise, and I always liked Goku, but I felt like realistically no one is that good, no one is that pure. So I much rather root for Vegeta than Goku. For Batman, Batman is just, he's that guy. He is what every normal human being wishes that they could be, just like loads of money, a ridiculous amount of knowledge, amazing combat skills, and he just knows. Batman knows everything. Like, he really does. He knows everything, and there's not much that phases him. Even if he can't stand up to you, there's not much that phases him. And I think that's what's so cool about Batman, is that he is just, he's unrelentless when it comes to pretty much anything. He's unrelentless, and whether he's outmatched or not, like whether he has another hero that could like absolutely wipe the floor with him, because there are many heroes that can do that. Batman just doesn't back down. Like he won't He
Prep
won't.
time.
He won't stop fighting simply because he thinks he might lose.
It's true.
He will just keep going until his knuckles are soaked in blood.
'Cause his thing is at least he tried. That's his thing. He's
And
gonna
that's-
try the best he can
That's
to
the
fix the
Bat-
problem.
Care.
Mhm.
Batman does not care whether he lives or dies.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
I
doesn't.
feel like when he goes into a fight with that type, like he has nothing to look forward to, you know.
Right.
And
There's
that's
nothing.
so scared.
He's ready to die. Mhm.
That's why it is. Because all he has is Alfred.
Yep.
all he
That's
has.
all he has.
So scared to build like a team, to build a family, to get attached to people because
If he builds a family, it could be taken away.
all of
Yep.
all of his power comes from that one night when he was 11 years old and his parents got shot. All of his determination, all of his willpower, that's where it comes from. You know, so by moving on and by building a future with people, he feels, even though that's not true, he feels like it makes him weaker. He feels like weaker. And he's already not super strong, like physically. But he feels like mentally, if he lets his guard down and he chooses to show love to people and to let people into his life, he feels like that'll cause him to lose his grip on that darkness that he feels so comfortable in.
So Jay, he's just afraid. He's just afraid, and that builds his whole character because he's so scared. He's so scared of something like that happening again. So he brings people just close enough, but not super close where something like that could be
Right.
taken away from him. 'Cause
Exactly.
He doesn't want to feel that hurt that he felt when his
That
parents
pain.
was taken away.
Exactly.
People are like, oh, Batman's not that tough. Batman's not that tough. And maybe he's not. Batman isn't.
Not, but he's still that guy.
Let's not forget he stood up for himself against the Man of
Yeah.
Steel. No,
That's
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's
That-
mentally tough and he's prepared to die. Like that man knows that,
True.
no matter what fight he's going into, he's gonna stand his own and he's gonna get it done as best as he can.
Right. And that's what it is. Batman is the perfect example of a human. The man has imperfections. The man has flaws. You know what I mean? Like you punch him, he bleeds, he bruises. You know what I mean? And he's just, and that's what I love about a flawed character. A character that's not written perfectly. Because
Like
there are a lot,
Superman.
yeah, like
Superman
Superman.
has no
Yeah.
no flaws. They was like, all right, let's give him this one weakness, and then sooner,
And then
the
let him
one
overcome
weakness
it.
doesn't work.
To give Superman some credit, he falls into what Batman is afraid of, is that he gets too close to humans, and because obviously the threats that Superman faces are stronger than humans, a lot of the people around him die, and then he
Yeah.
starts and stuff like that.
You
So
see the results of that with Superman and his not controlling his emotions. You see the bad
Yeah.
stuff that happens in that area.
and that's what was so cool about the Injustice series of books and the series of games, is that, you know, Batman, although he has all of his flaws, he has such a grip on himself. He has
Yeah.
such
Yep.
he won't let himself, because he could have been he was literally trained as an assassin. He was trained as an assassin by Ra's al Ghul. So he has the knowledge and he has the ability to kill whoever he wants to. And nobody can really stop him. No police could really stop him.
Yep.
There's
He
not
chooses not to because he knows the danger to that.
Yeah,
Right.
and he'd be no better than, the people that he's fighting, especially the Joker.
won't kill other
Exactly.
people.
It literally creates a villain.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what Superman didn't have in the Injustice series. You know, and you saw how that turned out. And I just think that Batman's got to be my number one, because he's just a W human. That's it. He's
Yeah.
True. I mean, yeah, true.
The W human.
a W human.
Well, I think that ends this episode very, very nicely. Hope everyone at home enjoyed listening to us talk about this topic. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Thank you.